Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Piper, obviously. Today I have the first episode of a new series for you. I called the series Tea Crime because I thought it was being funnier, but I'm probably not. And all my other training videos, called them Tea Time. So it's tea time, but it's tea crime, right? So funny. Oh my god. Yeah, so that's that. Um, I want to set one rule, though. You can only watch this when you have a cup of tea. And if you don't like tea, then get out. No, I'm kidding. You can, I don't know, even iced tea is cool because it has tea in it, okay? Okay, so enjoy the video, guys. Bye. On January 28th, 2013, 21-year-old Canadian student Elisa Lam checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. And after that, she completely vanished. The last time she was seen was on January 31st, so 3 days after she checked in, and that was also the day she was supposed to check out. And it's also the last time her family had ever heard from her. She called every day, so this was pretty unusual for her. At first, the police thought that she didn't want to be found. After all, she was traveling across California all on her own. Or maybe she was lost in LA. Or was it something far worse than that? When they searched Elisa Lam's hotel room, they found her belongings that she had left behind at the hotel, including her laptop, her prescriptive medication, her wallet, and her clothes. But they were all taken away by the staff members of the hotel and zipped up into a bag. The staff did tell the police that her room was messy, but there was no sign of forced entry. So the police started looking for witnesses. They even held a press conference, thinking maybe the public could help. They went through footage, so much footage, just trying to find any piece of evidence of any sort. And then they went through the security footage. Bingo. On the security footage from one of the hotel's elevators, she was seen acting just strangely. She seems frantic and paranoid. The entire video is just unsettling. It also kind of looks like the elevator is malfunctioning. The door won't close when Elisa is in the elevator, and she presses every single button, I think, but the door won't close, it's not doing anything, and then she steps into the hallway, out of the elevator, and eventually she walks away because the elevator won't work, and when she walks away, the elevator closes, almost immediately. That's so weird. It's almost like something is tampering with it, or someone is tampering with it, I don't know. So, the police searched the entire hotel. And yes, I mean the entire hotel. And just so you know, the hotel has 700 rooms and over 600 closets. So that took them a lot of time, I think. They even used dogs to try and catch a scent. And one of the dogs actually does find her scent and leads the police to a window, which has a fire escape on the outside. But that's where the trail ended. So eventually, the police went up to the roof, again, with a dog, but they couldn't really find anything there either. So everything just led to a dead end. The police then decided to put the security footage online. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about all the theories out there, because that would literally take me forever, but I do think that it is important to note that there were people that watched it so many times, and they started picking it apart, and they noticed that the video had been tampered with, possibly by someone working in the hotel, before they handed it over to the police. Now, let me clarify, it's just a theory, it's just a thought, it's not, I'm not saying this is definitely what happened, because it hasn't been proven or anything, so it's just a theory, and I think it's just an interesting one, and very much possible. Then there was a complaint about the water pressure, and the water had like a weird brown tint, which is like, ugh. They had their maintenance guy check it out. He went up to the roof to check the water tanks, thinking it's probably like clogged or something. But when he opens the hatch, he finds the body of Elisa Lam instead. She was floating in the tank face up. She wasn't wearing any clothes, but her clothes were found on the bottom of the tank. The question is, how and when did she end up in that tank? Because, like I said before, the police checked the roof, and they didn't find anything. So how is this possible? They decided to drain the tank, let her body softly float to the rim of the tank, and then cut an access point in the side of the tank to carefully remove her body from the tank. But besides her body, there is no physical evidence found. And can I just say, like, imagine you're in a hotel, you're like on vacation or something, right? And the water you're brushing your teeth with, the water you're showering in, bathing in, the water you're drinking, it's just like, it's the water that's from a tank where a dead person's body is in. Oh my god, I can't imagine. Like, these people must be, like, traumatized for life. Like, if that happened to me, I don't think I could go to any hotel ever. I would not set foot in another hotel ever in my life until the day I die. Because that's just horrible. This is horrible. And that's so terrible, dude. I just feel, I mean, obviously I feel bad for Elisa because, you know, she passed away. But I think I feel bad for these people too. Like, it's horrible. Like, you're just drinking. Oh my god. So, upon further review of the security footage, they reenacted what Elisa did in the elevator video. And apparently, she pressed the door hold button, which makes the elevator stay open for about 2 minutes. And in the video, you can see her press like a row of buttons, and the top button lights up, but as she removes her finger, it like turns off again. And that's because she's on that floor. Now the top button in the elevator is the button to the 14th floor. So that's the floor she's on. And that's one floor below the roof. And on that 14th floor, there's another window that leads to the fire escape. So maybe she ran away from someone. But there's also a stairwell to the roof with a door at the top of it. But you do need a key to deactivate the alarm that's on the door. So either it was someone from the hotel, or she didn't really take that stairwell, because then an alarm would have gone off. Then the police discovered footage of her in the lobby with 2 guys. There was an exchange of a box. Elisa takes the box and goes into the hotel with the box, and the guys leave. Maybe they had something to do with it. The box later was found amongst her belongings. There were books inside. The box then led to the Lazarus bookstore. So, it turns out that the guys delivered the books because Elisa didn't think she could carry it back to the hotel on her own. The guys weren't seen in any of the footage after this, so they probably didn't return to the hotel. So it's kind of another dead end. So how could she have ended up in the tank then? People speculated that maybe she lifted the lid and just jumped in or got in. So maybe it was a suicide, or maybe she was on a substance and decided to take a swim. She was bipolar, and she was also on antidepressants. She had her ups and downs, and even talked about this on her blog, where she had also even mentioned that she had suicidal thoughts sometimes. So a suicide seems very much possible. Well, not really, because if you were to commit suicide, why would you remove your clothes? And also, the lid was closed, and there is no ladder or anything inside the tank, so how could she be able to close it then? Well, alright, let's say it wasn't a suicide, and she was in fact murdered. It is possible that she could have been sexually assaulted, and maybe she was like resisting and struggling, and then whoever did it killed her and threw it in the tank. There was no way of knowing how long she had been in the tank. The temperature outside and the temperature of the water inside the tank can either speed up or slow down certain processes and certain changes on her body, like basically like the decomposing process. It was important, however, to see if maybe she was killed on a different location. There was no foreign DNA found on her body, but they also couldn't find any injuries. They couldn't even find the actual cause of death during the autopsy. So the question remains, why was she in the tank? Dark Water is a horror movie from 2003 from, I think, like Japan or China or Korea, either three of those, sorry. But the crazy thing about this movie is that movie basically is the story of Elisa Lam. Because in the movie, a little girl moves into a building with her mom, and there's even a scene where the water, like the faucet turns on and the water is just like dark brown. And then one day, the little girl is wearing a red jacket just like Elisa Lam. And then she actually accidentally falls into the water tank, which was supposed to be locked. Like, that's crazy. Like, what are the odds? Another kind of crazy coincidence is that a couple days after her body was found, there was an outbreak of tuberculosis, and the tests that they ran to figure out if you have tuberculosis or not is literally called Lam Elisa. And it's even spelled the exact same way. Like, that's wild. Like, what are the odds? Like, how does that even happen? How do you even explain that? Morbid is a YouTube account with weird songs and lyrics stating that he wants to, like, kill people, murder people. He talks about death a lot. And one quote that struck me to the core says, "I will let your tender remains rest in the deep cold ocean where no sound or scream will ever be heard." Like, that's kind of not very nice. In one video, you can see that he even has a poster of Ted Bundy in the background. So he doesn't really seem like a nice guy. I don't know. It's a bit weird. He also has a lyric saying, "I'm thinking China," and Elisa Lam was Chinese. So he's talking about a Chinese girl dying in the water. And he also stated that, sorry. He also stayed at the Cecil Hotel, but that was 1 year prior to Elisa's death. So it wasn't like at the same time that Elisa was there, but it's still a weird coincidence. So eventually they ran even more tests on Elisa's body, and they concluded that she wasn't on any drugs and that she also hadn't been drinking, or at least there was no evidence of it. The only thing they found was the medication of her bipolar disorder, but the levels were surprisingly low. They compared the amount of medication that she was taking to the amount that she should be taking, and it turned out that she was undertaking her medication. The owner of the hotel says that the last couple days she was acting strangely. She was sharing a room with a couple of girls, and she was taking notes on their beds, saying things like, "Get out, go away, go home." And she also locked herself into the room. And when the girls wanted to come in, she said, like, "Hey, what's the password?" Which is a bit weird. And eventually the owner of the hotel, or the general manager of the hotel, put her into a single room because they just thought that was better for Elisa at the time. So the police eventually investigated the roof even more. If someone did murder her, they would have had to walk on pipes and climb up a ladder carrying a body and put her through the hole on the top of the tank. There is, however, another way to the tank through a building on top of the roof. Like, you have to, like, climb on top of the roof of that building and then throw her into the tank. But you would also have to climb a ladder with a body, because you'd have to climb up to the roof, and there's only a ladder to the roof. So doing this without damaging the body is just not possible. Usually, when a body is found of someone who drowned, they are found face down. But Elisa was found face up. This can be explained by the water level in the tank, which fluctuates, and it could, like, make her turn around. At the beginning of the investigation, the police obviously spoke with the family of Elisa, and her sister said that she has a history of not taking her medication. And when she had her episodes or psychosis, she would be delusional, like frightened of things. And she would see and hear things that aren't there. Elisa Lam, having not taken her medication, was roaming around the hotel during a psychosis. She was probably either seeing things follow her, or she was hearing voices telling her to harm herself or whatever. She went up to the roof and probably saw the water tank as her only way out. And then she just jumped in. The only way to survive was to, like, keep moving, keep swimming. She probably removed her clothes because they were pulling her down. And then eventually she just drowned, which would ultimately result in a very sad end of the story of Elisa Lam. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really loved doing this, and I really want to make it like a series out of this. Let me know what you thought of this video, and if you want to see it again on my channel or not, that's okay too. I mean, it's okay. I don't agree with you because I had a great time doing this. But still. Also, let me know your thoughts on this case. Do you even believe that the police got it right? Because there's a lot of people out there on the internet speculating that it might not be. And let me know some of your thoughts, some of your theories, and stuff like that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.